Welcome back everyone to my Let's Play of Final Fantasy V Four Job Fiesta this year for TNV Small Critter Rescue. I'm back here at the Wind Shrine. Unfortunately I had to re-record the last episode, so that's why there was a day delay in getting this out. But we're back here, did everything I did in the last episode that I did record, so we're back on track to get to the Wind Shrine. What in the world is going on? The wind suddenly stopped and monsters came rushing into the shrine. These are a bunch of scholars from Tycoon Castle. What about Father? King Tycoon has gone up to the top floor, but he hasn't come back. Something must have happened. The crystal room is on the top floor. Let's go. Faris, the pirate captain. He gets everybody to head on up and go look for the king. Before we go to talk with the king, we want to talk with all the scholars to get information. But even if you don't need to talk, need the information because you may have played this game before, you want to talk with the scholar here in the bottom left because he gives us 5 potions, and those will be useful for fighting the boss that we got coming up here. So basically, guarantee that we'll be able to defeat the boss without taking any casualties. So the boss is going to remind you of the boss from Final Fantasy IV that I just played, where it's going to have a state where it'll you won't be able to hurt it, and if you do try to attack it in that state, you'll be countered. So, but it's not going to be a dragon. It's going to be something a little less scary. It's going to be this big bird, but we'll see it in just a little bit. So this is a very short dungeon. I mean, it is basically the second dungeon in the game. So count the Pirate's Cavern as the first. So you have these save points here. As you can see, when I was on that save point, the save feature was in white. When I stepped off it, it grayed out. So I'm not gonna have to save right here because, like I said, this dungeon is short. But in future dungeons, there will be that are longer. We'll definitely want to save in between while we're inside the dungeon, so we don't lose any progress. So got another leather hat there. Now all we need is another weapon, and everyone will have a weapon. Luckily, the next treasure chest that we're about to get will have a weapon. So we'll have a broadsword, similar to what Lenna has right now. Faris has equipped a dagger, which is a stronger knife. It's just like 1 point weaker than the broadsword. We're going to give her the second broadsword here, pass the dagger down to TNV, and TNV will have his knife down to Galuf. We want to get our fastest characters equipped with the strongest weapons. So there's a little quick guy can walk through the wall over there. So, and there's the boss. Talk with him in a little bit, but I just want to come in here. This room is empty, but I just wanted to show that it was empty. Now we just approach the boss, and when you press A, you engage in combat with the boss. And he basically uses this attack called Breathwing, which takes off 1/4 of your character's max hit points. Their max hit points, like if they were at full health, so it's not going to take off a fourth each time, because then like you would technically like never die. So it's going to be taken off like that, 13, 14 points, or based on the character's health there. So that's where those potions are going to come in handy. So after about 2 full rounds of attacking him, when you're getting about 2 attacks in, you want to stop your attacks because the Wing Raptor is going to go into this cloaked phase where it puts its wings up. If you attack it during this phase, it'll counter with that breath wing. So we're just going to take this opportunity to use those potions that we got to heal everyone up. That will guarantee that we'll survive the final 2 rounds that it basically attacks. We'll be able to survive, basically we'll only attack 1 more time, but accidentally hit the left button while I was giving a potion, and Lenna actually gave the Wing Raptor a potion, so it has 50 extra hit points than it should, so, but we're back to where we were, 2 hits, and should be able to finish it off here, and we finish it off. Interesting thing about this game that allows you to do that low-level challenge that I mentioned is that bosses don't give experience points. So, but they do drop items, and usually they're a pretty decent item. So we got a Phoenix down there that can bring a wounded character back on their feet. And here we have a staff. A slightly stronger weapon than the knife. And it'll be the go-to weapon for a little bit here because staffs are what white mages use. Black mages use rods. White mages use staffs. And we're about to get our first job, the white mage. But before we head up there, I'm going to get all the rest of the enemies in this shrine. There's two that we're missing. The first one here is this Manny Wizard. They can drop rods, so if you have black mages as your job, I mean, it's almost a free equipment for them if you get lucky and you get a drop. Probably the best drop to get in here would be the leather shoes from the Black Goblins, because that will give everyone an accessory if you need two more of them. So, because you got the other two for free in Tool. And here's the last enemy here. Elixirs, great drop as well. They restore all your hit points and all your MP. So they're not really all that good in the beginning of the game when you're on an ether, and a potion can do that because you have such low hit points. But toward the end game, you're basically a lifesaver. So the crystal, it's shattered. So there was about 4 minutes of grinding there when I was trying to find that last enemy, the Mold Wind. But luckily I got it, and now we can get a brief preview of where the other crystals are. And they're going to bless us with their essence. So Faris here is blessed with the Spirit of Fire Courage. And Lenna will be blessed with the Water Crystals. Blessing. So you get a little bit of a tour of the world map here. One role of the Fiesta is there's one where like you can only use the jobs that your character thinks. So like Faris would only have the fire job, could only use the fire job. Lenna would only use the water job. Galuf here would only use the earth job, and then TNV, your main character, would use the wind crystal job. He's about to, we're all about to get right now, so that's a little bit of a tougher thing because you can only have that one job, and so you can inherit like the abilities from other jobs to put on your job currently equipped. So, Father, King Tycoon is there. Listen well, you're the chosen warriors, the four who hold the spirits. Father, what do you mean? It means that we're going to be the ones who save the world. The wind crystal is shattered, and it seems that the other 3 crystals will as well. You must protect them. An evil spirit is about to return. One that will plunge all into darkness. So now we have our objective. Some like weird cloud seems to possess the king, and warps him out of the area. But not before he tells us to protect the crystals. Unfortunately, as we saw in the last episode, we're kind of landlocked right now. There's nowhere to go. The only place you can technically go is that canal, but the canal is locked. And the guy who made the canal, we went to his house, Zot, in Tool, and he wasn't home. So, but remember, TNV said, hey, we'll come back later. Well, once you got the crystal pieces, you can head back there to Tool, and you can visit Zot and get the key to open up that canal to start the journey to find the Crystal of Water, which is the next one we're going to be going after. But it's not going to be as easy as going from the Pirate Cave to the Wind Crystal. There'll be quite a few dungeons and stuff in between. But that's good because it'll allow us to build up our skills in the White Mage job. So basically now that we're going to have jobs, we're going to select our jobs once we get out of here. In addition to getting experience points and gold at the end of each battle, you get ability points. And the ability points level up your jobs. So as you learn as you gain ability points, you'll learn different skills from the jobs, and those different skills are the ones you can equip on other jobs. So, like for instance, after 10 ability points, all the white mages will learn white magic level 1. So then, if you change jobs, say to like the magic knight, you can have a magic knight use white magic level 1, and you keep going up like that. So like I said, we're going to go to the job here ability, select everyone as a white mage, because that's the job that we won here, that we had selected for us in the Fiesta here. And by Fiesta rules, everybody is going to have to be a white mage. So it's going to make things a little tough here at the beginning, because I'm not going to have very good offense. We're going to be resorting to hitting people with sticks. I'm going to put everyone in the back row, because white mage is a squishy job. Head back into the Wind Shrine here. We can talk with the scholars, get a little bit more information. You can always use this place as a good healing point, so if you want to do like level grinding. We'll pray here for the revival of the crystal. This land, the power of the wind continues to weaken. The wind power fades steadily when the wind stops. Could the machine that was amplifying the crystal's power have caused it to shatter? I've heard the power of the crystals in Wars and Karnak are amplified using the same technology. If all the crystals should shatter. So this is a good place, like I said, do a little grinding, just like the Pirate Cave, because it has that free healing point near it. Not necessarily to grind for levels, but later on in the game there's this knife that's really powerful. It gets more powerful the more you run away. After 255 times, it's basically like the most powerful weapon in the game. So it's a good time if you want to level up your that knife, even though you won't get it for a long time. Because the easier the enemies, the easier it is to run away from them. So right now it's like an opportune time to do those 255 battles running away. I'll do that off screen at a future time. But right now I'm just going to head back to Tool here and go back to the weapon and armor shop and make sure that everybody has a full set of equipment. So we're going to need 2 more leather hats, and we're going to have to buy 3 more of those staffs for our characters to use. Luckily the place sells all that stuff. The only thing that it doesn't really sell is like thief's equipment. Like daggers, but luckily thieves have the ability to steal, and one of the enemies coming up has daggers that you can steal. So if you look at my Fiesta from I think 2 years ago, you'll see how I had to basically steal all my weaponry. And we don't need any of these weapons here because White Mage can't equip them. So we'll just give everybody our staffs and full defensive equipment. Like I said, if we want, we can go back to the Wind Shrine and fight the Black Goblins and try to win 2 more pairs of leather shoes. That'll give just slightly more defense to our White Mages, but it's not necessary. I won't be doing that, but... So now Zoc is actually home now that we've got the crystal pieces, and that'll allow us to head into the Torna Canal, which is the next dungeon. So, Zoc, I have a favor to ask of you. We need to pass through the Torna Canal in order to reach Worse, but now the wind crystal is gone and the place is infested with monsters. It's too dangerous. You remember that guy said that a monster was sealed with the power of the wind crystal? Well, now that the wind crystal is destroyed, that monster has broken its seal, and I guess it brought back all its buddies to hang out in the canal with it. So, now because the canal is now monster infested, Zoc isn't really willing to give the key. He's a little worried about Princess Lenna. But he's going to hear that she's committed to the protection of the world, and he'll end up changing his mind and giving TNV here the key. Faris, of course, is still at the pub, sleeping by herself over there. The crystal, Dad used to talk about those, now that I think about it. And we're going to get our first introduction to TNV's mother and father here. The crystal must be protected. Unfortunately, both die young, which leaves TNV, the orphan that he was at the beginning of the game here, to travel the world on his own. But we'll learn more about their stories as the game progresses. The father is somewhat a very important figure in the game. So, he played an important role in this world before TNV was born. But that'll come at a much later time. For now, we're just going to head back to bed. But hey, there's Zot there, and this is where he hears that Lenna is talking in her sleep, and basically is devoted to protecting the crystals, doing what her father asked her to do. And that's the key that changes Zot's mind. He's like, I can't stop her from doing what she wants to do. And so he ends up giving TNV the key. You remember the canal we tried to go through was locked? This key will allow us to enter that canal and begin our adventuring. But there's a few things that you can do before we head to that canal. Canal's another very short dungeon, very similar to the Wind Shrine. It's actually a pretty unique dungeon because you're actually on your boat throughout the entire dungeon. So it kind of reminds me of some of the Dragon Quest games, like Dragon Quest 4, where you're piloting your boat through the dungeon. So yeah, this game has some pretty neat dungeons, has some pretty terrible dungeons too. So it's tough to rank. Like I said, some of the dungeons are the best in the series, and then some of the other dungeons are just like really, really bad and annoying. So it has really high highs, really low lows. So I like the consistency of Final Fantasy IV. Every dungeon was pretty decent, you know. Nothing was super awesome, but nothing was terrible. Nothing never felt like a slog. Luckily, these first few dungeons aren't much of a slog. In fact, between the Torna Canal and the dungeon after that, they're both very unique. So you get like two really interesting, unique dungeons back to back. Now, Faris tells the pirates to basically stay here, protect the hideout, and she's just going to go on with us and take the ship. But she kind of gives us a good clue of what we can do before we want to go to the canal. She mentions the pirate hideout. Well, we can head back to the pirate hideout now that we have Faris with the party. So we'll be able to go back there and loot the rest of the treasure in the pirate hideout. Remember there was that one door that was locked that a pirate was standing in front of? So it also might be a good time, to go back and check on Boko, TNV's Chocobo, see how he's doing. So we're going to just re-equip all our characters here. Faris didn't get to equip all her stuff because she was out by herself in the pub, but luckily the game reminded us to buy her equipment. So I'm going to head to that pirate cave in the next episode. Take care, see you then, bye.